last night, Boston really just played with Dallas, I thought. Is this series over?
Yes, I think it's over. Now, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to end in 4 games, but I think the series is over conceptually because I, after watching the first 2 games, I don't know if you and Bob agree with this. I cannot envision a scenario where Dallas can win 4 games against this team. Now, I'm hoping for it to go long because there's nothing worse than like sweeps or 5 game series, but I just think talent wise, there's a discrepancy. The Mavericks can't win, I don't think, unless Luka and Kyrie one or both go off. Boston's very, very deep. They're so sound defensively. Now, the adage is true. No 7 game series really sort of begins until the team, wins on the road, basically. It's sort of like the cliche of all this.
Right.
But I think if you're going to be honest and you've watched those first 2 games, like Boston's a better team. Like they're a better team. And I don't know how Dallas solves the puzzle. Although selfishly, I'm rooting for the Mavs to win the next game because at least it makes it interesting.
I've never been impressed with Boston all year. I don't know why, but I haven't been. And I thought Dallas might have a real chance here. But I thought Kyrie was very selfish in game 2. Very selfish. And I don't know whether that was the difference or not, but it was a big factor, I think.
Well, so a couple things on that. Luke, I don't know how hurt Luke really is. These guys never let on just how hurt they are, but clearly I think he's sort of struggling a little bit. Less about selfish, Bob. I think, like they need
32 points last night, by the way, when he's hurt. 32.
Yeah, I know. But I'm like that. The problem with the Mavs is like they don't have like a third and fourth scorer. I feel like the way the Celtics do. Like the Celtics beyond Brown, you know what I mean? Like beyond Tatum and Brown can beat you. Like Horford can beat you. Holiday can beat you. Derek White can beat you. Like that's that, and they all D up really well. And then the total X factor was like Porzingis, especially in that game 1. Like the guy came back after not playing forever, and he looks like an all-star. So again, I don't know how Dallas matches. I was with you, Bob. Like I saw the Mavericks like in the Western Conference Finals, and I was like, this team, when they beat Minnesota, I'm like, they're pretty good. Like they're going to give somebody a really tough series.
Yeah, I thought they were pretty good.
Maybe
it's just they had a real chance.
Maybe it's just a matchup thing. Like
I was going to say the reality of this series is it's not really scoring; it's defense. I mean, my goodness gracious, the Celtic defense has been very good, hasn't it?
They're forcing Luka to make sort of otherworldly shots, where in this Minnesota series, he seemed to be able to get off what he wanted. And that feels like a big difference. And the one thing that's very clear with the Mavs is, it really is very much a 2-person scoring team. And if both of those guys are not lining it up, I think if you're the Celtics, you don't really worry about, PJ Washington and some of these other guys beating you. It's not that they're bad players. They're not game-changing, difference-maker types of players. So I think the series is essentially over. I hope I'm wrong, but I let's put it this way. I would bet much more money that it's a sweep than it's a 7-game series. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where my thought is.
Sure. Yeah.
Hey, but Bob, you talk about Kyrie being selfish. I don't know what choice he has. I mean, if he doesn't go to the hoop, who does?
Well, I think you have to try and find somebody else, John. I don't think he even looked at anybody else when he got the ball. That was my notion. I watched the first 3 quarters of the game. I thought he was really, really selfish. And he didn't distribute the ball at all.
I'm not as down on Kyrie as Bob is, just because I feel like you, John, I'm with you. I just don't think they have options. Like the problem is, he kicked a couple times. Well, not just Kyrie, but like that, a couple of the Mavericks guys had open 3-pointers and they just missed. Like you can't beat the Celtics unless you have a great shooting night. And the thing that's frustrating for the Mavericks is last night, the Celtics did not play great the first 3 quarters. Like that was a winnable game for them.
Sure
they let it go a little bit. So I don't expect the Celtics to have 2 clunkers in a row. So I will say if it goes 3-0, I do think it's a sweep.
Yeah.
Like I think the Mavericks are done if it's 3-0 and 4. But again, I'm hoping and rooting, just like in the Stanley Cup final. It's just as a casual, if you don't have a vested interest in any of these teams, you want it to go long. It just makes it more exciting.